All right, good morning. Today, I want to dive in a little deeper into this idea of shame and how we understand it. It's this false sense. It's this voice that's louder than any other voice. Doesn't mean it's right. So let me see if I can help explain it. So before we go into the meditation to do the neuro rewiring, I just want you to be aware that we're not just going to listen. We're going to unlisten. We're going to unlearn the most rehearsed identity you've ever carried. Think about that. This idea of shame that runs rampant, the one that shame taught you to perform this identity. So the one that became so familiar, you forgot it was a performance. You know, you hear about some of these actors when they take on a role, they really get into it and they go live it and they keep the makeup on and they stay in character. Well, we've stayed in the shame character for way too long. In the world of personal undevelopment, my aim is not to stack on more affirmations or behaviors. It's to help dismantle the programs that no longer belong in our nervous system. And shame is not just an emotion, it's an identity. And it lives in the tone of your self-talk. Doesn't it? I'm not good enough. Oh, I could have been, or I should have been, right? So we're going to go into a meditation here in just a minute. I just want you to become aware that this is about the program that no longer belongs in your nervous system, right? And shame is not just an emotion. It's an identity. It's an installed identity from the first time you were ever made to feel bad, right? It lives in the tone of your self-talk. It echoes in your posture. You know, as somebody who's on the faculty of the Self-Talk Institute, one of the things we do in a teaching and a training is we imagine two people behind a curtain. The one on the left has lived a successful, powerful, productive life. And the one on the right has been from job to job, homeless sometimes, never really found a solid relationship. If I were to ask you to describe their posture, would there be any difference? You haven't even seen them yet. This is what I'm talking about. This is how shame lives in our nervous system, echoes in our posture. It hijacks the microsecond before you speak. What do you want for I don't know. Well, whatever you want. The second before those statements come out, where you are not in control of your conversation, this is the hijacking that happens continuously. It happens. And it convinces the brain and the body that the smallness equals safety, right? What do? Our shoulders roll over. We get real small. We start to put our hands in front of our face and stuff. Today's meditation is not about relaxing, it's about reclaiming. Write down on your notes, today I reclaim. I really want you to start to activate that in your awareness. Today, I reclaim. I'm going to guide your awareness into a vision of yourself who you learn to survive by. This is how you've learned to survive, right? I'm going to make you aware of your shrinking, you're performing, you're numbing, you're staying silent. We'll meet that version of you, that version who's been shrinking and performing, doing a performance and been numbing yourself to, well, it really doesn't matter, numbing yourself. We'll meet that version with compassion, not judgment. And together we'll bring the process of disidentification. We'll begin this process of disidentifying with that version because shame isn't yours. It was installed and it can be uninstalled. So before we begin, how do you listen to this meditation? This is important because we're talking about shame. So this is not about trying to heal. This isn't about doing it right. There is no scorecard. Let go of the outcome and instead witness what arises. Okay. So it's not about doing it right. How do I let go of shame correctly? There is no correct way. It's simply about paying attention to what arises. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, let your body lead. If your chest tightens or your throat closes, that's not failure. That's your nervous system saying, this is where the loop lives. Saturday, we did 2 hours on the 5 loops of shame. Okay. So if your chest tightens or you feel a knot somewhere, that's where the loop lives. That's where the source of this energy lives. This is your nervous system saying, hey, pay attention here. So just breathe through it. Let it unwind in its own time. Say the words, what? And I love that. So 1, don't try to heal. 2, let your body lead. 3, breathe slow, stay present, stay inside. You don't have to fix anything. You just have to stay long enough to feel what used to make you run. Stay inside this body. Don't get caught out externally. Don't start looking at things outside. This is all inside you. Okay. And number 4, if you get emotional, it means it's working. Okay. Emotion is evidence that a false self is losing its grip. All right. In this meditation, if you get emotional, that's a false self losing its grip. So why this matters? Well, the reason I wanted to give you a heads up is because we're talking about shame. We're literally undoing, rewiring, re-neuroengineering our body to become aware of this and to respond differently to these outside stimuli. And if we don't, well, many people don't go into the detail prior to the conversation. So what happens? If we're talking about shame, it triggers shame, and then you don't even hear the meditation. You don't hear the training. You don't hear the lessons. That's why we don't hear half of the personal development stuff that we want to learn. It's because we're already in shame. I've got this. I've got that. I'm not good at this. I've got that problem. And because of that, you need to own that identity. And that identity wasn't yours. It was installed in you. So because if you don't meet the false self directly, right? So why does this matter? Because if you don't meet this false self of you directly, you'll keep dragging it into your goals, into your relationships, into your conversations, and into your success. We keep dragging this naysayer, this negative Nelly, right? And that's why most transformation does not stick, because the shame loop itself is still operating in the background, right? writing the script for you to pay attention to. Not today. Today, we meet yourself before the story, before the installation. Today, you choose to uncarry the false self. So, you all right? You ready? So now we'll begin. All right, I'm going to turn my camera off and I'm going to put some music back on and we're going to go have a conversation about undoing the shame self. Okay? Let me get this going over here. All right. I'll be back in just a moment. So I'm going to get started with the meditation. We'll see you in just a second. So take a big breath in. We're just going to do this. You can go into your sanctuary if you will. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. So take some breaths. And in just a moment, not just yet, I'm going to count to 3 and we'll be transported into our sanctuary of undevelopment and achievement. Just be aware consciously that this is an undoing. Pay attention to the feelings that will arise when you're in your sanctuary, your safe place. And here we go for the transport. 1, 2, 3. And you are now inside your sanctuary of undevelopment and achievement. I want you to go find your space, that place where you rest consistently, that place that delivers you to that higher awareness, to your connected self. And settle in there. And now, let's begin our journey. In today's conversation, in today's journey, you're going to become aware of the false self I carried. That's the feeling for today, the false self I carried. This is about taking not just a journey, not just a meditation. This is a neural re-education. We're going to meet this false self, the one that shame built. It's a version of you who learned to survive by shrinking or by pleasing or by hiding. Shame, it's not just a feeling. It becomes a neural identity loop. It's an emotion, a feeling of not being enough. It's a narrative. I mess things up. I don't belong. It's neural encoding. It's this habitual thinking that feels automatic and true. Right? So just become aware. This meditation, this conversation is designed to interrupt the triangle, emotion, narrative, or neural, and to reclaim your voice, to reclaim your breath, and reclaim your body from this loop. So quietly in your mind, let your nervous system know I'm ready. Say, I'm ready to reclaim my body. So let your shoulders drop. I want you to think of this. Let your breath become the authority in the room. Take a deep breath in. Exhale slowly. And then take another breath. And on the exhale, do the vagus clear. Do the sigh. Let your body know you are in control. And when you consciously make this sigh, make that clearing sound, it releases and relaxes your body. So now let's go on a visualization. I want you to imagine a version of yourself, a younger version, or maybe a more recent one. This version of you carries the story of shame. You'll know who it is. This is a version of you that holds back. They believe they're a little too much or maybe not enough. I want you to find that version of you. I want you to find a time of you in that state. And I want you to let this version gently step into your awareness. You're not judging them. You're meeting them in this sacred place with loving compassion and honor. Remember, this version of you protected you. They performed for safety. They stayed silent so you could survive. Like our archetypes and other things we've talked about, this version of you that has just appeared, what name would you give this version of yourself? Whisper it in your mind. Let them know, I see you. I know how hard you've worked to protect me. There's no anger here or frustration. You're simply meeting them with sacred compassion. This version of you, name them, say it in your mind. What name would you give them? And then in your mind, out loud, you can say, I see you. I know how hard you've worked to protect me. So now become aware of this. You might even say this to the version of you that's there. Shame is not my truth. Say that. You can whisper it in your mind. Shame is not my truth. It is just the loudest voice I've rehearsed. Shame is not my truth. It is just the loudest voice I've rehearsed. See, you've repeated that voice so often, your brain began to believe it. This story was installed. It began as an emotion, and it turned into a belief. And now your nervous system expects it. Let your hand rest over your heart or your stomach, whichever one you're guided to place it at, wherever you're guided to place it. And breathe deeply into this space. And say this: I no longer need this loop to feel safe. I can meet safety without shame. Notice how your body responds. Notice the breath moving into places that used to hold this loop. Again, your hand on your heart or your stomach, wherever you feel appropriate, and say, I no longer need this loop to feel safe. I can meet safety without shame. Notice where your breathing moves into places that used to hold this loop. Just pay attention to those areas where you feel increased energy in your body and say, and I love that. So now let's begin reclaiming our authentic voice. Continue to breathe. Become aware. So listen carefully. That false self version of you, the one who carried shame, they didn't get a voice. They didn't feel safe speaking up. In this moment, right now, I want you to give them a voice. Let your internal voice say, you're going to say this to that version of you. Say, you no longer need to protect me with silence. I speak now with clarity. I speak now with peace. We'll do it again in just a moment. You are now speaking with your nervous system, not against it. Speaking with your nervous system, not against it. Your body must believe you are safe to shift. So again, let your internal voice say to this version of you, the one who had no voice, you no longer need to protect me with silence. I speak now with clarity, and I speak now with peace. And so your body must believe you are safe to shift. So say this. I would encourage you to say it so you can hear it. If you can't, whisper it in your mind with intensity. Here's what you say. I am safe to exist outside of this loop. I am safe to be seen without the false story. Again, I am safe to exist outside of this loop. I am safe to be seen without the false story. Notice your breath. Where is it breathing into? Where do you feel energy in your body? Become aware. So now we're breathing in new energy. We're going to breathe in and reintegrate. Energy reintegration. So breathe into your body as if it is a home you're returning to. You know, when you come back from that long trip, that vacation, and we say, there's just no place like home. I want you to breathe into your body. Just like that. This feeling of complete peace and safety and comfort, and you can be your true self. Now I want you to do a little something different. I want you to let your spine rise with some confidence. This relaxed confidence, this knowing that you know that you know. Let your jaw release its grip. Relax your jaw muscles. Let your shoulders fall as if they're no longer needed for armor to carry the weight. Right? Breathing into your body. Let your spine just straighten a little bit, but let your jaw drop and your shoulders drop. And as you breathe, continue to breathe a little bit intensely, with intention, not fast. Just be aware of your breath. Begin to say this internally. Keep breathing. I am not the shame. I am not the voice that punished me. I am not the pattern. I am the presence. This is my breath, my body, my story now. Again, keep breathing. Straighten your spine. Let your jaw relax. Let your shoulders relax. Keep breathing. A little deeper than you normally do. Exhale a little more. Be in control. Be the authority and say this. I am not the shame. I am not the voice that punished me. I am not the pattern. I am the presence. This is my breath, my body, my story now. Feel that alignment in your body. Become aware. And now we're going to reclaim your identity. Imagine stepping out of that false self, like stepping out of an old coat, Feel the weight drop. Say these words. I no longer perform the version of me built on shame. Say that. I no longer perform the version of me built on shame. I carry only what is mine. I walk forward as truth, not performance. Again, I no longer perform the version of me that was built on shame. I carry only what is mine. I walk forward as truth, not performance. Now I want you to see the image of your true self as it begins to emerge. Your shoulders are steady. Your eyes are clear and crisp. You have a calm heart. You have a grounded presence. This is the unfiltered you before shame was installed, before the loop was named. And now you walk forward with this version, with that self. I no longer perform the version of me built on shame. I carry only what is mine. I walk forward in truth, not performance. This is the version of you unfiltered before shame was installed, before the loop was named. I want you to repeat these affirmations. I do not need shame to survive. I am the pattern interrupt. My body is safe to belong to me again. This is not forgetting the past. It is forgiving the identity that forged it. This is not forgetting the past. It is forgiving the identity that forged it. I am who I was before shame arrived, and evermore. I am who I was before shame arrived, and evermore. Feel that. Scan your body. Again, I do not need shame to survive. I am the pattern interrupt. My body is safe to belong to me again. This is not forgetting the past. It is forgiving the identity that forged it. I am who I was before shame arrived, and now evermore. So just sit here for a moment longer. Still, quiet, present, not rushing to return. I want you to recognize who is returning. Think about that. Who's returning to your conscious awareness? Something has shifted. Not in your thinking, in your nervous system, the very architecture of your identity. Who is returning? Something has shifted. Let yourself feel the difference. The weight that isn't there. Feel that. The script that's no longer running. Hear that. The armor you didn't even know you were wearing, now set down. Feel the weight difference. We're going to do some slow breathing as we wrap up. And on the inward breath, I'm going to ask you to say something in your mind. And then when you exhale, I want you to say another statement. So just listen as we go. So on your next inward breath, say, "This is my breath now." And on the exhale, say, "This is my truth now." Inhale, "I carry only what's mine." Exhale, "The false self is free to rest." One more time. Inhale, "This is my breath now." Exhale, "This is my truth now." Inhale, "I carry only what's mine." Exhale, "The false self is free to rest." So now let's do some neuro encoding, speaking to our nervous system. Repeat these after me. I remember who I am when shame is gone. I remember who I am when shame is gone. This body, my body, belongs to peace. This body, my body, belongs to peace. This breath belongs to presence. This breath belongs to presence. This moment belongs to me. This moment belongs to me. And now say this: what was installed without my consent is no longer in control of my path. Say it with a confidence and a sternness and an ownership. What was installed without my consent is no longer in control of my path. So let's reinforce the triangle. I want you to feel your spine. Notice your spine. Feel it strong. I want you to notice your heart energy. Feel it open and inviting. I want you to hear your voice clear. This is the posture of the one who has returned home. Say these words: I don't have to earn my worth. I am not here fixing myself. I am reclaiming myself. This is not healing a wound. It's waking up the part of me that never needed to hide. Again, I don't have to earn my worth. I am not fixing myself. I am reclaiming myself. This is not healing a wound. It's waking up a part of me that never needed to hide. So let this phrase echo as you begin to come back, as we begin to awaken inside of our sanctuary. The false self that carried my story long enough. Today, I thank it, and I walk forward with truth in my bones. The false self carried my story long enough. Today I thank it, and I walk forward with truth in my bones. As you're in your sanctuary, I want you to come back to your awareness in your sanctuary. Wiggle your fingers and become aware of what you've just rewired, awakened. Feel it. Feel it inside this sanctuary. You've just rewritten your nervous system's relationship to who you truly are. Feel this energy flowing through your body. Feel this confidence, this connection, this awareness. This is your true version. And in just a moment, we're going to walk down our hallway, back into our transport. You know you have access to this version of you now and forever. This is the version of you that steps forward into all space and time. And now in our hallway, in just a moment, not just yet, we're going to enter into our transport, and this version of you is coming home. This confident, connected, committed, loving soul is coming home. 1, 2, 3. And you are back in your present moment, healthier than you've ever been, with more love, more connection, better and better every day, every way. And you begin to open your eyes and you look for things that are blue in your world. And you feel yourself awakening. Welcome home. Welcome home, you confident, fully capable, amazing creature of joy.